I was hoping I'd never have to make this type of video, but a couple days ago the Subaru got hit while I was parked on my street, and the damage is quite bad. I already know through insurance it's going to be totaled. I am going to keep the car no matter what and rebuild it, but the damage is really bad, and I'm definitely going to have to put in a lot of work to get it back on the road. I'll show you the damage in just a minute, but first kind of let me talk to you about how it happened. So this was just a couple days ago. It was about 7:30 at night. I was just getting ready to go to the store, got in the car, and was about to take the sunshade out of the window. I looked in my side mirror and I saw a car going down the street. I was like, all right, I'll just wait a second for him to pass before I start the car and leave. I was looking in the mirror and I was like, that car is kind of getting close to mine. I thought maybe he was gonna actually just pull up next to me to, I don't know, talk to me or something. And next thing you know, he hits the car. Luckily he kind of sideswiped it, so I wasn't wearing a seatbelt or anything, so I just kind of got jolted around a little bit, but I didn't get injured or anything like that. It just took me a second. I was like, holy shit, that actually just happened. And yeah, so the guy, he had to stop because his front wheel fell off, but he got out of the car, apologized immediately, and just told me, I don't know, man, I just looked down and next thing I know, I hit your car. So later on, he did admit that he was looking at his phone. So for everyone out there, do not use your phone while you're driving, or you'll do some serious damage to someone someday. So let me kind of show you the damage. As you can see, the door doesn't open all the way. So he was driving down the street. You can see the street is pretty wide and long, and it's really not a busy street at all. So I've parked on this street for years and never had any issues. I don't have a garage, so I wish I did, but as you can see, he came here, and this is the worst part of it. This is the quarter panel. My completely rust-free quarter panel is destroyed. I did recently put on this JDM bumper. I should be able to fix that. That's really just scuffs, so luckily the rear bumper is saved, and the spat is also saved. But here is the quarter panel. Yeah, it's crunched pretty bad. And then you come down here, also crunched right there. It's very badly dented, if you can see that on camera. And then this whole side, dented, crunched. Also the top half completely crunched. You can feel it, it's just completely dented in. And then we get here to the front end. This front fender, crunched in. You can see here the tire is popped. This rim's probably bent, I'm guessing, just with the amount of damage on the outside of it. Even right here. And then the front bumper completely got torn off. The hood is just popped open, so I can show you that. Somehow, here, you can see there the, I can get out of the light. The firewall here is completely okay.
What happens?
Sorry, that was actually just one of the neighbors checking on it and asking what happened. But anyways, as you can see here, the front end did not get bent at all. There's no creases or anything. I think that since it was a car, the damage is mostly down below, because as you can see here, this top half of the fender is actually really good. And I'll close the hood, and you can see the body line here is still perfect. So thankfully the front end is not damaged at all. Even this light did not get hit. Also the rear somehow is fine. So if he would have hit here, I mean, the car probably wouldn't be able to get brought back to life. I did notice this gapping here is a lot bigger than this side, but I think it's just because of the trunk. I think the trunk might have just shifted. Because if I open it, it's not as smooth as it was as far as like latching, but it still latches fine. So I'm pretty sure it just shifted a little bit, so I might be able to undo the bolts there and maybe bring it back. Or it's because this quarter panel is dented in, it might have just pulled the quarter panel gapping a little bit. And then my biggest concern is the wheel. As you can see there, the wheel is completely shifted forward. So I'm thinking maybe a trailing arm or the strut got bent. I'm hoping it's just that. I am going to take this wheel off today and check out the damage, so I'll be sure to film that and put it in the end of this video. Alright, I decided just to throw this clip in now while I'm over here. So I just got the car jacked up. I can already see that the tire is completely underneath the strut, and it's still bolted on, and it's hitting here, so it's not looking good so far. So let me pull this wheel off, and then I'll show you what it looks like underneath, and hopefully it's not completely screwed. Alright, so I got the wheel off, and I think I completely lucked out, because if you can see right here, this strut is completely bent and it's split apart here. Also up here you can see where it's hitting, which is not supposed to be there. So this leads me to believe that this strut is what's causing all the wonkiness with the wheel. And this front trailing arm, which I thought was going to be the one that was bent, actually looks completely fine. The mount's there. There's no crease marks in it at all, where, you know, if it was bent, normally the metal would crease a little bit. The front mount looks fine. This rear arm looks completely fine. Again, this metal looks like it hasn't been warped or creased at all. This mount's completely fine. Same with the sway bar. Front one, it's hard to say if that's supposed to be like that. I'll have to compare it to the other side. But again, I don't see any like giant crease marks where the metal is bent. So I think that's okay. Even in like the whole arm, it's hard to see. Let me see if I can get the camera in there. There we go. See how straight that looks? So I don't think any of this is bent. Again, the axle is completely straight. So I think, honestly, it's just the strut that's bent. Which, if that's the case, I completely dodged a bullet there, because I was worried that all the inside here is going to be damaged. But as you can see, none of this is creased at all. This is just like grime. Even on this back side, let me see if I can get here. That all looks completely fine still. So I think I'll just need a new strut. So depending on what insurance does, I'll either just buy, you know, 2 rear ones and run the same springs, or just buy all new suspension. So yeah, that's super good news. I'll continue with the video and show you the rest of the damage. And so here's like the most of the damage. I don't know if a body shop is going to be able to bring this fender back to life. The only thing that's giving me hope is up here. It's completely fine, and there's no crease on the top half. You can see that. And actually there's a little right here, there's a little bit, but I think they might be able to, because this, like here, where it goes around the taillight, is completely fine. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull this out and kind of reshape it. I'm hoping they can, because I'd like to keep the original body, but I'm just going to have to wait until I take it to a body shop and see what they say. I know I'm probably just going to have to get a new door, because this door is crunched. It'll probably be cheaper for me just to buy a new door than try to pay to get this fixed. Down here, again, there's no crease. It's just dented. So I think they'll be able to get that bottom half out pretty easily, especially from the inside. If you take out the rear door panel, I think you can just pop this out. Again, it's not creased. Let me open up the door. So I think my saving grace is, if you look here, this is all completely fine all the way down. This line is still completely straight. Even down here. So this dent is on top, but the bottom half here is actually fine. And there's no crease down here. So I think that's gonna save this car, because if this is messed up, this is just like, it's gonna be hard to get that shape back, especially right where the door connects. The door doesn't close completely smooth. As you can see here, it kind of hits, but I think it's just because the door up here is bent. But if I slam it, it does close. The gapping on it is pretty close. You can see it. It's a little off, but I think maybe just the door just is kind of out of shape, and maybe the hinges up here are bent a little bit. It's hard to see in there, but once I dive into that, there'll be a little bit more. Down here, the side skirt is still on the bottom of the frame. It's just this fender's bent, but if I was to bend that out like that, just do that by hand, then that will line up, and the side skirt's completely connected all the way down here. Just right here, it got popped off, but you can see there, that hole still lines up. So it doesn't look like the bottom got twisted at all. Again, I'm just worried about the suspension part, but I'm just hoping that something in there is bent and should be an easy fix. The front end actually looks fine as far as the tire in the wheel well, so I don't think anything up front got bent, and yeah, everything looks okay there. So walking around, again, like I said, the front end is completely okay. You can see the car actually got pushed right to the curb, but this side is still beautiful, and I still have this perfect quarter panel here. Take a look underneath. So if this quarter panel is not going to be saved, I'm going to go wide body. That's going to be the easiest way, especially because you can't get these quarter panels really anymore, I don't think. And I'm not super good with body work, so I don't know if I could cut a quarter panel off a junk car and weld it on. I just don't think I have that kind of skill, so I'm just gonna go with a wide body replacement. And which means these are coming off, and I'll weld these up and do like the delete on those markers, those side pieces, and then just go wide body. So so yeah, that's the plan with the car. See if they can fix the original body, and if they can't fix it, then I'm just gonna go with a wide body. I think that's the best route to go, given the circumstances. And it'll be good because then I'll kind of learn about doing body work. I'm not very good at it, but this is going to be a good learning process, and I can take my time with it. Luckily, I do have another car. I didn't show it in any of my videos, but maybe next video I'll show it. It's just a Miata, but it's extremely clean. My mom gave it to me to sell for her, and then this happened, so I'm just going to use that for a while and figure out what insurance is going to do with this car, and then go from there. So also, I wanted to thank everyone. I did post some pictures on the GC8 Facebook group, and quite a bit of you that watch these videos actually sent me a message offering parts, which is really cool. I mean, so thanks everyone for that. I know these cars are getting super rare, and especially the coupes that are rust free. So it seems like everyone in the community is trying to keep these cars back still on the road, which is really cool. So thank you for that. This car will get rebuilt. Luckily, the damage is in places that can be fixable, so I am thankful for that. And then, yeah, it definitely sucks, but like I said, I'll rebuild it and get it going again, and I'll be sure to make videos of that process. So thanks again for everyone that's reached out, and I'll make another video soon.